cookies that you would normally get with your takeout and try making your own fortune cookies at home instead. So stick around and I'll show you exactly how to make these cookies that's worthy of being your post-takeout treat. Hi, my name is Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. And today we're learning how to make your own fortune cookies. So if this sounds like something that you would like to try out for yourself, or you're just simply sick and tired of the bland taste that most store-bought fortune cookies have to offer you, then please give this video a like. And if you're new here and you're enjoying the content that you're seeing here so far, then please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I make a new baking tutorial or short. I make new baking content every week, and my content is suitable for beginners and experienced bakers alike. So if that sounds like you, and you don't mind a little bit of self-deprecating humor sprinkled here and there from time to time, then why don't you stick around for a little bit and make yourselves comfortable. And who knows, you might actually learn something new from me too while you're at it. So with New Year's Eve and Chinese New Year literally just around the corner, I figured now would be the best time to show you how to make these fortune cookies at home. Not only would these fortune cookies be perfect for those two occasions, these would also be great for birthday parties, baby showers, weddings, or even just as a simple post-takeout treat to your home-cooked Chinese food. You can even use these fortune cookies as a fun way to spice up your gender reveal party. Please check out my confetti fortune cookie variation to see exactly how you can even stuff these with some sprinkles on the inside for a real fun surprise. I also did this for my birthday last June, so you can even do this for a birthday if you like. I'll leave the link down below so you can check out the short and full recipe for yourself. Made with simple ingredients that you more than likely have lying around in your kitchen, these fortune cookies comes together in a snap, and they have the same great texture and crunchiness as your standard fortune cookie, but with an improved flavor throughout. Alright, I know you're dying to get your hands on these fortune cookies, so why don't we get started on making them now, shall we? To get started on these fortune cookies, we are going to first toast our rice flour to give these cookies a deeper and slightly nuttier flavor. We're also using rice flour today so that these fortune cookies have some extra crunch in them. So, to our large baking tray lined with some parchment paper, add 1/3 cup or 48 grams of brown rice flour. I mean, you can also use white rice flour here too, but then your cookies won't be as nutty or as complex in flavor, so that's why I tend to prefer the brown. And then we are going to spread the flour in an even layer and toast them in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven or 177 degrees Celsius for 12 to 15 minutes, or until the flour has become fragrant and has a light golden brown color to them. And allow the rice flour to cool before using it. To a large bowl, add in 3 egg whites and making sure not to get any egg yolks into your whites or your cookies will not turn out properly. There's a time and place for egg yolks, and this is not one of them. So just set them aside for a future recipe and then add in 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of lemon juice and using a whisk together until the egg whites have become frothy. Then sift in 3/4 cups or 150 grams of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon each of vanilla and almond extracts, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom, a generous pinch of nutmeg and cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of salt, and whisk together until fully combined and the mixture has become thick and lighter in color. So, kind of like a meringue, except not really, since this particular batter would be denser than that. Then add in a 1/4 cup or 60 grams of vegetable oil and 2 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon or 35 milliliters of water and whisk it in. And at this point, your meringue-like batter should start to get quite thin and runny at this point, so let's fix that by adding in our dry ingredients. In 3 installments, sift in your dry ingredients, which consist of 2/3 cups or 84 grams of all-purpose flour, your toasted rice flour from earlier, and 2 teaspoons or 3 grams of cornstarch, and gently fold it into the batter until it's just incorporated before adding in more flour. And yeah, I did kind of cheat here and did it all in one shot, but I wanted to show you guys what each of the components looked like separately. So if you're also feeling lazy and reckless like I am and want to do it all in one shot, then go right ahead. The batter will still turn out just fine, if only a little bit more dense, but who's really judging here? Once all of your dry ingredients have been added to the bowl, your batter should have a runny but lava-like consistency, like so. And should your batter be too thick and running too slowly, then feel free to add in a touch more water. Likewise, if it's too runny, then add a teaspoon of flour at a time until it has the right consistency. And before we get too ahead of ourselves here, like this has honestly become a reoccurring theme for me. Like seriously, it's not funny. We are going to quickly make some fortunes to place inside of our cookies because trust me, you will have absolutely no time to do this once the cookies have baked. So better now than never, am I right? Anyways, using a ruler, make some fortunes that are about 1 centimeter in height and 2.5 centimeters in length. And then write down whatever your little heart desires. Or if it's based on a theme, then write some fortunes based on that. Here are a few examples that I had made here. And you can even type this out on the computer if you prefer. And if you're anything like me and your handwriting isn't necessarily the greatest here, just make sure that whatever fortunes that you may have, they can actually fit on the size of the paper. Then carefully cut out your fortunes and place into a small container. Set them aside for now, but do keep them close by for when the cookies have fully baked. Speaking of which, we're going to take a tablespoon, and that's a measuring spoon and not the spoon that you use to eat soup with. And we're going to just plop the batter onto a silicone-lined baking tray. Then spread it flat into an even circle that's about 3 inches in diameter. Since these cookies bakes up super quick and sets up just as fast, you'll only be able to do 2 of these cookies at a time, or even 3 if you can move fast enough. And then we're going to bake these fortune cookies at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes, or until the edges have browned. So here's a little visual on what your cookies should look like after baking. You'll want your cookies to be browned but still have some light spots in the cookie so that it doesn't have that burnt taste. The cookie on the right is a little too browned, but it's still quite doable, and honestly, that's probably going to give you the closest crunchiness to the originals without tasting too burnt. So it's really up to you on how brown you want your cookies, but for the best results, try to aim more to the cookies on the left as your bare minimum. Working very quickly here, place a fortune in the middle of your cookie and carefully fold the cookie in half. And using the edge of the cup or another rimmed object, shape the cookie into a crescent shape, and then place the cookie inside of a muffin tin and allow it to cool completely. Also, this step can get quite dangerous here, so for your safety, please wear some heat-safe gloves when handling the hot cookies so that you don't risk burning your fingertips off. Unless you're like a criminal or something, or just plain insane like I am, then I guess continue to use your bare hands. Continue this process with the rest of the cookie batter until all of the fortune cookies have been baked and formed. And if you want even smaller cookies, then feel free to use a teaspoon instead, and just place the cookies inside of a mini muffin tin to help keep its shape. Now, this last step is optional, but because I had made these for New Year's, I figured why not dip them in some white chocolate too? So, this is just some leftover white chocolate melt that I had kicking back from making some hot chocolate bombs. And so, to a medium-sized bowl, we're going to melt down 8 ounces or 227 grams of white chocolate in a microwave in 30-second increments until it's nice and smooth. And if you prefer to temper the chocolate, then feel free to check out my last impromptu tempering video that I had did with some eggnog truffles. But today, I'm feeling extra lazy, so white chocolate melts it is. Then, we're going to dip half of the fortune cookie into the white chocolate and add some colored sanding sugar on top for a little extra sparkle. Again, you don't have to be this extra with these cookies, but if it's for a special occasion, then this is definitely a must here. Once all of that is done, your homemade fortune cookies are finally complete. And like I said earlier, this would be the perfect treat to end your home-cooked Chinese takeout, or even as a fun surprise to any formal occasion. Now let's see what your fortune has in store for you guys. You will get better at an existing skill. Seems promising. I really hope that you've enjoyed this recipe, you guys, and hopefully this fortune turns out to be super accurate to you too. And there you have it, homemade fortune cookies. A huge improvement on your standard fare. These fortune cookies has a wonderful flavor throughout, and they would be absolutely perfect to enjoy in casual or formal settings. So I have here a fortune cookie that I got with my Chinese food takeout, and now I'm going to compare that with today's fortune cookies to see how they fare against one another. So first, the homemade fortune cookies. Definitely tastes like your standard fare, but with an improved flavor throughout. And these are actually just as crunchy as the originals too. You can definitely taste the almond in these cookies as well as some spices, and the white chocolate adds a nice decorative touch to these cookies, and it complements the flavors in them as well. So let's read my fortune. Patience is a virtue. Who would have thought that a fortune would actually be accurate to me for once? Now let's compare that to your standard takeout fortune cookie. I mean, it's not that bad or anything, but honestly, it's a little bland, and so if I were to ever do Chinese takeout again, I would honestly go with the homemade option here, to be honest with you guys. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed today's recipe, you like what you see here, and you are excited to try out these fortune cookies for yourself, then please give this video a like and leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of them, especially if you're going to give this recipe a try. Share this video so that others can also try their hand at making their own fortune cookies at home. And if you're not already following me, but you enjoy the baking content that I do on here, then please smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I make a new baking tutorial or short. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Both usernames are Tiff's Patisserie, and the full written recipe to today's homemade fortune cookies will be on my website, tiffspatisserie.wordpress.com. The link to that will be in the description box down below. And until next time, you guys, stay safe out there, peace out, and have a safe and wonderful New Year, you guys. And I will see you guys in my next video and in the New Year too. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.